Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. And before I forget, thanks to our sponsor, NoGiBJJGear.com. Go check them out. They make awesome rash guards like this one. The WWF Panda Rash Guard. See, WWF for World Wildlife Federation, and also the old school World Wrestling Federation. And it's a panda with a chair, and he's gonna hit the other panda, like they used to pull out the folding chairs in the old WWF days. For those of you who are old enough to remember that, man, jokes aren't funny when you have to explain them, are they? But it's a fun rash guard. I enjoy wearing it, and it's a really nice quality product too. Just a quick review. I don't know if you can see this, but around the bottom of the rash guard, it's got this gel panel, right? And ordinarily, I'm not a big fan of that, but these ones are really nicely made. So the rash guards stay in place. They don't ride up. They don't bunch up or anything like that. So No-Gi BJJ gear, it's not just fun, gimmicky stuff. It is really high-quality merchandise. Man, so shout out to them. So we have a question today about speed. How do we develop speed for punching? And you might notice right away, this is not a video in the gym where I'm going to show you all these movement techniques. And maybe I should make one of those, but we're going to talk about the limitations of your speed. Because everybody thinks, if I could just be faster, I could win. Yeah, I guess. I imagine all of us have fantasized at one time or the other that we could have the speed force like the Flash from the comic books, where he can move so fast it's like the other guys are standing still. If I could just move so much faster than him, I could get that angle for that knockout punch. If I could move faster, I could hit him before he hits me. Man, there is a finite limit to speed. A very finite limit to speed. The fastest world-class punchers out there clock in about 30 miles per hour. I'm talking about the fastest punchers. Okay? Now, how about you? If you're just some guy and you train to punch as fast as you can, chances are your punches are probably between 14 miles per hour and 17 miles per hour. And if you're a guy who doesn't train, your punches are probably way slower than that. Now, if you're punching around the 20 mile per hour range, dude, that's world class. That is high-level professional boxing speed right there. 20 miles per hour. Very few humans can do that. Very few. Now, if you feel like you're a slow puncher, you're probably missing out on a few basic body mechanics and a few simple mental tricks. I'm going to mention 3 things here. 1, connect your feet to your hands, because your hands are going to move as fast as your feet move. That might surprise you, because you might be one of those people who has disconnected your hands from your feet and doesn't really understand that cross-lateral connection running from your left arm, boom, all the way down to your right foot and through the body and everywhere in between. So if you want to increase hand speed, increase foot speed. What else can you do? Connect your movement to your breath. That's another thing you can do to increase speed. And the other thing is to visualize. To visualize your hands reaching the target in succession. And another thing, I'm going to mention 4 things here. If we're not talking about a single punch, there's a limit to how fast a single punch can get out there. But a common mistake I often see, especially with beginners throwing combinations, is they'll throw a punch, they'll bring this back, they'll throw another punch, they'll bring this back, or instead of bringing it back to their face, they'll drop it down to the hip, of course, and that's going to take 3 times longer to get up there. So pull your punches back to the head. Instead, after you throw one punch, as you're pulling this one back, use the pulling force and push with the other arm. Push with one shoulder and then the other, right? So both arms are moving simultaneously, and then guess what happens? You end up moving literally twice as fast, because you're cutting out the middleman. Now, that being said, because there is such a incredible finite limit to how fast you can move, And even with those tips, if you follow them religiously and you practice in your shadow box and you do every available exercise to get as fast as you can, you're probably going to increase your speed just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. Probably so little that it's not really going to matter, and you're not going to beat the other guy to the punch based on how fast you are. I would strongly advise take a look at George Foreman. George Foreman was remembered as a power puncher. Of course, because he was a big dude who hit really hard. But you might notice something about George Foreman. He wasn't super fast, but he was super good at finding his target. Why? Why? Because he didn't need to be fast. What is more important than the speed of movement is the speed of problem solving. And that's a man who solved his problems quicker than the men that he punched. Because he moved to the right place at the right time. He set up his shots correctly in order to land them. It's not a setup unless your opponent is unbalanced, as Jack Dempsey said. And there are different ways to do that. You can hit him and knock him back on his heels to unbalance him, so you can hit him again. You can fake or feint to cause him to move into an unbalanced position and then move into a better position and hit him back. You can put yourself in a position where you seem vulnerable, but you're really not, to expose your opponent, right? So the speed of problem solving is infinitely more important. Not just in boxing, but really all combat sports. All of them, man. Take wrestling, for example. Who's got the best shot in the game, man? A lot of people would argue Jordan Burrows had this incredibly fast, incredibly powerful powered double leg, where he would just blast people. And yeah, that's true. Probably one of the best in the business. But even that shot, you don't set that up, you don't problem solve, you don't get it. You got sprawled on. Why was Jordan Burrows so effective at his double leg takedowns? Yes, they were fast. Yes, they were powerful. Yes, they had all the necessary athletic attributes behind them to make them work when he got into position. But what made them work? Burrows was an expert at solving the problem before his opponent did, so that he would be in position to land that shot. That is the principle, the real principle of speed that matters in a fight. It is not the speed of your fists. It is not the speed of your kicks. It is not the speed of your shots. It is the speed of your problem solving that matters. Thanks for your question. If you have questions for future editions of Q&A with the Coach, please leave them in the comments down below or email me at ramseydewey@gmail.com. Once again, shout out to NoGi, BJJGear.com for sponsoring the channel. Check them out. Use my code Ramsey10 for a 10% discount off everything on their website. Again, NoGi, BJJGear.com. Thank you so much. Now, get out there and train.